While we're on the topic of colour, I want to just talk a little bit about background colour and images. And the background colour can be the colour behind any element on the page. So it can be behind an image, it can be behind a bit of text, it can be behind a paragraph or a heading, or it can be behind the whole screen. Now here we have Google. I'm going to bring up F12 to bring up the inspector, and I want to investigate the background of Google. So I've now selected it, and now I can go down and I can have a look in this list of CSS for background colour. And you can see here we've got background colour FFF. Now that means it's FFFFFF, if you remember how that's been shortened, because the first, second and third double digits are identical. And that represents white. Now what we can do is we can set the background colour to something else, and that will change the background colour behind the whole page. So now all of Google is, well, that's blue-violet, that background. Okay, what if we just wanted to put the background colour behind an image? Well, we can inspect the images as well, and you see I've got the image selected there, and then I can go over here. There is no background colour at the moment. The only background colour we've got is one down here for body. So the body, which is what we saw in the last example, is everything behind on the canvas. I want to just change the background colour behind the image. So what I can do is I can just go in and put a background colour property, background colour blue. So we've got a blue background. Let's go over to a different website and have a look at a different example. And I'm going to go to one of the pages where I know there's a heading on there. But let me select the heading. You see I've got the H2 heading selected there. And you see the little pop-up that comes up. You can see H2, then 697 pixels by 72 pixels. That's the dimensions of it. Let me just select it. And we can see again that I can change the H2. This CSS over here refers to the H2. So let me just put in background color. Let me select it from the list here. There we go. And now you can see that it's actually changed color. It's actually not a very clear color change. Let me change it to something else. We'll change it to indigo. What I could also do here is I could change the font color, and let's change it to white. And there you can see now I've changed white text on the indigo background. So you've seen there that we've used this background color property. Let's head on over to Live Weave and we'll have a look at this. So here we have Hello Weaver in a paragraph tag. And to change the background color for that paragraph tag, we'd use the P selector and then open up the declaration block, and then we could put in background color. You see it's listed here for us. Whoops, picked the wrong one. Background color, and then we can change that to whatever color we want. And now you can see that paragraph has now got a background of yellow. But if we wanted the whole canvas as yellow, well, the whole canvas is declared in the body tag, which is up here. So what we would need to do is we need to create the body declaration with background color, and let's say teal, and you can see the background color has been changed. And let me just change this back here. So we've changed the background color now, and you can change that to whatever you want, and that's the whole background is being changed. The other thing you can do with backgrounds is to use images. The type of images you can use include GIF, JPEG and PNG, although PNG isn't used as often as perhaps GIF and JPEGs. And if you know anything about image formats, then you'll know that GIFs can hold on to a certain amount of transparency information, and that can help in your design. So let me give you a little example here. What we want to do is we want to put the background image on the canvas, in other words, in the background of the whole web page. So what we need to do is we need to use the body selector, and let's create the declaration block, and then we can insert a background image. Okay, now the format of the background image is background-image : and then we have URL, and then we put the URL of the image in the brackets. Let me just go over to Google Images for a second. And I want to search Google Images for a website background image. And we can pick one of these. Let's have a look. Let's pick this one here. I'm going to just click on it. The dimensions of it are not great, so if I was doing a real website, it's not the sort of thing I would use. Let me just view the image because I want to grab the URL of the image, and then I would just put the URL inside those brackets. And as you can see, that image now is over here on the background of the web page. Now, at the moment, it's tiled, and the other thing I can notice here is that the Hello Weaver bit, the text, is a little bit more invisible because of the colors. So what I would probably do is add a paragraph selector, and then we can just say color white. We can change the color to a white or smoke white. Okay, so that's the tile background. The next thing to do is to get rid of the tiling, and we can do that by creating another declaration, background repeat, and we can set the repeat to no repeat. And then if we look at the image, you can see it just fills the background once. The background image I've chosen is a very small resolution one, so it's only going to fill a very small part of your page. So in other words, you need to use a much bigger background image if you want it to cover the whole of your page on a bigger site. The other options you've got here is you can actually repeat it along the x-axis or along the y-axis. So we've got it repeat x, you can see now it's repeating along horizontal, or we can say repeat y, and this will be repeated along the vertical axis. Now we do have even more control over where the background image is located. We can say no repeat, and then have background position. And with background position, we have various options that we can choose. So for example, I could say put it at the bottom right, and then you can see if I maximize the screen, the image is now bottom right. And you've got various other positions you can do, and you can actually position it absolutely on the page as well. But that's getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. So for now, that's a brief introduction to background colors and background images.